It's Monday, the 16th of August, 2021. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, the business news you need in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. In today's headlines, the New South Wales Premier concedes zero COVID cases is now unlikely as 1 million doses of Pfizer arrived in the country. Plus, there are signs that the housing market is coming off the boil as a result of the COVID crisis. One of the country's largest super funds goes green. And profit season kicks on with more than half the companies reporting, providing a positive earnings surprise. Our lead story today, New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian has conceded it's unlikely the state will achieve zero community transmissions of the Delta strain of coronavirus, as 1 million new doses of the Pfizer vaccine arrived in the country. The numbers in New South Wales are dire. There were 466 cases on Saturday and 4 deaths, and 415 yesterday and another 4 deaths, taking the total number of fatalities for the current outbreak to 48. Ms Berejiklian said the strain was so transmissible it was nearly impossible to eliminate. Victoria is looking problematic with 25 new cases yesterday. While its lockdown is due to end on Friday, that's unlikely unless the numbers change quickly. Queensland has been more successful in keeping a lid on cases, while ACT announced 2 more cases yesterday. The lockdowns are estimated to cost the national economy between $15 and $20 billion, and that's on the basis that New South Wales opens up again next month. That would almost certainly mean the economy will contract this September quarter by 2.5% or so, the unemployment rate will jump, and all talk of an early move by the Reserve Bank on interest rates will go quiet. At least vaccination rates in Australia are rising and vaccines are becoming available. Last night, an extra 1 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine were due to arrive from Poland. There's plenty of Groundhog Day going on at the moment. Until vaccination rates reach 70% or more, and that's hopefully late October, most Australians will be living with some sort of restrictions. In overseas news, the United States has sent more troops to Afghanistan, just weeks before it withdraws completely, to support the evacuations of Americans from the country. The Taliban now has control of the north of the country and its second and third largest cities and has encircled Kabul. It holds all of Afghanistan's border crossings. There are now 5,000 US troops in the country helping people get out. What a mess. New COVID deaths in the United States hit their highest level since May over the weekend, as the country rolls out 1 million jabs a day. The number of daily deaths in Russia hit a new record, while cases in Germany rose the most since May. Thailand, Vietnam and the Philippines all recorded record daily tallies over the weekend. The total number of cases globally is almost 207 million, with 4.3 million deaths. I've spoken plenty about the massive infrastructure spending in the United States. India has joined the party, with the country set to spend $1.35 trillion as part of a plan to create millions of jobs. That much spending on infrastructure will take plenty of steel, and steel makers need iron ore. It could be a win for Australia. And iron ore futures have tumbled to a 4-month low of $156 a tonne. That's a long way below the $220 a tonne level reached earlier in the year. The drop follows reports that Beijing wants to cut steel production by 61 million tonnes in the current half year. Locally, the housing sector is starting to feel the pinch of lockdowns, with sales lower. Figures from the Housing Industry Association, released late last week, showed that lockdowns have hurt sales, with new home purchases more than 20% lower in July. There is now a question mark over the upcoming spring selling season. The busiest time for real estate agents is normally from September right up until Christmas. Figures from CoreLogic suggest that listings coming to market, particularly in Sydney, are sharply lower than previous years. Thousands of jobs in the airline industry are expected to go this week as Virgin Australia and Regional Express stand down staff as a result of the lockdowns. Virgin CEO Jane Herdlicker said in a note to staff that only 7% of the airline's network was untouched by COVID-19, according to media reports. Regional Express said about 500 workers are expected to be stood down across its business. The country's second largest superannuation fund will pool capital from companies failing to act on climate change risks. Aware Super, with a $150 billion portfolio, said while it preferred to engage with companies around climate change from the inside, it was now prepared to divest to force change, according to a report in the Financial Review. It comes a week after the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change provided dire warnings around the prospect of global warming. Fund managers understand the issue and are putting their money where their mouths are. Governments, on the other hand, continue to prevaricate. Profit season continues this week with BlueScope and JB Hi-Fi due to report today, BHP tomorrow, then Coles and CSL on Wednesday. Newcrest Mining, Origin Energy, Cochlear and Sydney Airport, among others, report later in the week. While it's early days, earnings have been strong so far, with 52% of results surprising on the upside, 79% with earnings higher than a year ago, and 71% of companies have upped their dividends, according to AMP Capital. That's the Fear and Greed business headlines for today. Make sure you hit follow so you get it every morning. And if you'd like more detail and more stories, search for our longer daily podcast called Fear and Greed. We also release a daily interview. Today, we're talking to Anthony Eisen, co-founder of Afterpay, about the company's $39 billion sale to Square. Don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook and Twitter, or go to fearandgreed.com.au. I'll be back later with the afternoon market report. I'm Sean Aylmer. Have a great day.